Let's move on now to the Women's World Cup in Cape Town, when South Africa took on Jamaica earlier on in what was expected to be a tough challenge for the hosts. So the Bongi Msomi captained team has won the first two pool matches, defeating Wales and Sri Lanka respectively. To get an insight on what to expect in this evening, what we saw in this evening's encounter. Pardon me, we are joined live from Cape Town by senior news reporter Liesl Olivier joining me now. Liesl, unfortunately losing our first match, South Africa, that is against Jamaica. Was this to be expected?
Yeah, I know that I think Jamaica were overwhelming favourites going into this match. They're number 4 on the world rankings. We are number 5. And Jamaica just have looked very, very sharp so far in this tournament. Yeah, but it was a loss, 67 goals to 49. And with me, I've got Sino and Kenny, our analysts for the World Cup this weekend. Ladies, let's get right into it. So what went wrong?
Liesl, we started really well. First quarter, let's say first half, we did really well. And I think what we could have done better there is at the back. Well, I don't know if we could have done anything better actually, because Fowler is really a solid shooter over there. But I just think when it moved over to the third quarter, I think the changes could have maybe come just a little bit earlier, because you saw the difference when they were made. I think that's what I think. I don't know if it went wrong, but that's what could have been better for me.
What do you think, Ina?
I think before I answer that, I think it's just a positive to take away from that game is the fact that as a South African team playing against, yes, world number 4, but you must remember these are silver medalists from the Commonwealth Games, and the favourites for a reason, because they've got, from what we saw tonight as well, the top end defenders and the best shooter in the world, and we were able to compete outside of that third quarter. We were able to compete and run out with them, and that for us is definitely a positive that we can take away. However, I do feel that we didn't adjust when the changes were made in that third quarter. When Jodie Ann Ward was moved from wing defence to that goal defence, we just didn't have the artisanal to really work around that. She's a body-on-body defender, and she really was keeping our goal attack out the circle and making it hard for her to get that ball, which gave Shamira Sterling the room to be Shamira Sterling and go for those balls. And that's why you'll see in the third quarter, Shamira Sterling was going for all the flies, and that's what we know her to do. So I think Jodie Ann Ward went in there to shut down the goal attack, and she definitely did that.
Do you also agree with Sino in that Norma Plummer's changes, the timing of that? Would you have done something sooner?
I think they could have come sooner. I think she rolled the dice and put Carla Pretorius on wing defence, moved Nicola Smith to goal defence. And I think when she realised it didn't work, after the 6th ball that was turned by Jamaica and we hadn't scored a goal, I think that would have been a good time just to call time, injury time, and make those changes. Obviously, I don't know what her reasoning was behind that, but, as a coach, my couch coach job, I do think that I would have made those changes quicker, because you see also in the fourth quarter when the changes were made, it was a massive difference.
It's always easy. Hindsight is a perfect science, I suppose. But I do want to touch on Jamaica's physicality. I mean, we were speaking about it before the time with Janelle Fowler. I mean, she is just her presence, and it's not only a physical presence, it's something big. She's there, and you know it. The physicality was tough out there.
Yeah, it really was immense. And something about today's game as well. We're actually chatting about it a couple of minutes ago. It just felt so personal. I don't know if it's because we're at home, where they were like, well, you're at home ground advantage, and we're going to bring it, and they did. Very physical. Even at the back with Sterling, there were calls, that were made where I think she felt like she wasn't being physical, But Fowler is a physical player, like we all know her to be, and her body allows her to be that physical as well. So yeah, that's what I think about it.
Yeah, and now, tomorrow evening, we're playing Trinidad and Tobago. That's been confirmed, 6 o'clock, Trinidad and Tobago first up. Norma Plummer says she welcomes that. Initially, we thought it was going to be New Zealand, and then we heard during the media conference it's Trinidad and Tobago. So, yes, no, good news for South Africa?
Yes, I think so. I think if we were playing New Zealand tomorrow, the turnaround time is just too short. That's a physical game, as we've said, not only just on the body, but I think mentally and emotionally. And it's good not to disrespect Trinidad and Tobago, but it's different level and skill level between New Zealand and Trinidad and Tobago. So for us, better for us to play at Trinidad and Tobago, maybe just to give us time to go back to the drawing board and really go back to the mandate that's been given, and hopefully go out then on the next day and be ready for New Zealand.
That's it from us here in Cape Town. So Trinidad and Tobago it is. Tomorrow evening at 6, and then we face the defending champions New Zealand, and after that, Uganda. That is it from us for today from Cape Town. Have a lovely evening. Unfortunately, we are saddened by the loss, but like Norma Plummer says, this remains a journey. Back to you in Johannesburg. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Live from the Cape Town Conventional Centre, where the 2023 Netball World Cup is taking place. Unfortunately, South Africa lost their Group C match, and that's a story that we're chatting about right now. They lost the Group C match of the preliminary stage 1 of the 2023 Netball World Cup. Going down to Jamaica, 67-49, as you heard from the ladies there. The Sunshine Girls beat the Proteas in the first 3/4 of the match, with South Africa staging a late fight back. The second preliminary stage, the business end of the tournament, will begin on Monday. And as Liesl said, we're going to be taking on Trinidad and Tobago.